so we have another full moon coming up. This is on Saturday, the 31st of October, and it's at 14:39, and that is Greenwich Mean Time. So that will be UK time. So if you are watching this video from any other locations around the world, you will need to adjust that timing. So this is a full moon in Taurus, and it's actually a blue moon. So this energy is especially good for Taurians, Cancerians, Virgos, Scorpios, Capricorns and Pisceans. Anybody else, it's a little bit more of a difficulty, that this particular energy. So the energy is earthly and it's very steady. There's some top questions that we need to be reflecting at around this full moon. And these are, the first one, have I been lazy or overly self-indulgent this month? So have you kind of spent too much time maybe lounging around, maybe not getting up early enough in the mornings and being proactive enough, maybe saying that you're gonna get up and do something and then kind of thinking, oh, I can't be bothered, or maybe just kind of sitting around and kind of watching TV and stuff when there's other things that you need to be doing, so to speak. Obviously it's great to have time for ourselves, but it's also really important to spend time focusing on things that we need to be looking at. So it's kind of like that aspect, but also being overly indulgent. So kind of spending too much time on ourselves, maybe even eating habits. So we've been overindulgent with eating, overindulgent and excessive with kind of other things that aren't good for us, and or just not spending enough time focusing on others and being a little bit too indulgent on ourselves. So that is the first question we need to look at. The second is, have I been too obsessed with money or status symbols? So is this an area, an aspect within this energy where you've been maybe focusing too much on not having enough money? And one thing I want to add is that if you do spend too much time feeling that you don't have enough, you're actually aligning your energy to that. So you're kind of telling the universe that you're happy with that energy, even though you're not. Your energy field, because you're very negative about money and you're thinking, oh, I haven't got enough, I'm lacking, you're fearful of things not going right financially, you're actually sending more of that vibration out. So what you need to do here, and I'll talk about this a little bit later on, is be grateful for what you have. But also, are you becoming too money orientated on the other side of the coin, where you're overly spending, you're focusing too much on those kind of materialistic needs, and on status, so how you look, rather than working on more of your inner core. And you know, the exterior is lovely, but it's actually this inside that is truly what we're about, and what although others perceive us from an exterior point of view, when people get to know you, they get to know the true you, and it's about that beauty within you. So that is what is important. So that's the second point. Have you been too stubborn, jealous or possessive? So have there been situations where there's been arguments, you've become way too stubborn? I know that in some of my weekly reads this has come up, where we've talked about kind of forgiveness and letting go slightly, and trying not to be too stubborn. So that's an area we need to look at. And also too jealous and possessive. So maybe within relationships you've been, or it could even be friendships, maybe jealous of what others have. And jealousy is a really tricky trait, because it's not a good thing to be at all. And in actual fact, there's enough for everybody to go around. You know, within society, I think we feel that we look at people's social media and we kind of get jealous of what they've been up to, what they've been doing. But what you have to remember is that there is enough to go around, and we should never be jealous of others. We should really be happy for what they have, and know that we too can have that. And it's about aligning our energy and being grateful for what we have, because the more grateful we are and the more appreciative we are of what others have, the more that comes to us. I'm a true believer in that. Being jealous is really, really not a good trait. So that's something we need to look at. And also possessiveness. So maybe this is more in intimate relationships. Or it could be with children. It could be that you've become too possessive and nurturing of children and worrying about them too much, and you need to let go a little bit. But this is definitely an energy that's coming in here with regards to possessiveness within relationships. So we need to look at that as well. Have you been doing too much comfort eating? Now, this comes under the self-indulgent thing, doesn't it? I mean, we're coming into autumn. Sorry, we're not coming into autumn. We're in autumn, and we're going into winter, and so it's very cold, it's wet and rainy, and it's dark early, and we can get into that situation where we become a little bit unaware of our eating habits, and right now is the most crucial time to be aware of how we eat and look after ourselves, because we need to keep our immune systems up with winter coming in, and with bugs and things, and so it's really, really important to eat healthily. And when we come to comfort eating is kind of eating the wrong foods that aren't really nutritionally good for us, but overeating as well. So we need to kind of look at that, and if we do get hungry, maybe try and look at other alternatives that are slightly healthy. Nuts are really good sources of nutrition, and they give you lots of energy, rather than maybe heading for a chocolate bar or go for a banana or something like that. And so that's something else we need to look at, because this will bring your vibration higher, but also just make you feel better in general. And have you done enough exercise? Gosh, I feel like I'm moaning and being a bit of a teacher here, but these are kind of the energies of this Taurus full moon. So have you been doing enough exercise? If you're not a member of a gym, or if you found that through lockdown it was easier for you to kind of cut that membership off, there's other ways to exercise. So, with regards to exercise, you could be walking, you could be running locally, you could just be, it sounds crazy, but today I was playing around with my children, and she wanted to play chase, and she wanted to play What's the Time, Mr. Wolf, which is that game where you kind of throw out a time and you have to do steps and then run away from the wolf. And I was really kind of like, it's exercise at the end of the day, it's fun, but it was exercise for all of the family. So it's those kind of little bits, at the weekend you could maybe go on like a really nice forest walk. There's some Halloween hunts on, so that's an opportunity to go out and get walking. So that's another thing I will add with exercise. Also, this is a message about re-energizing your life. So this is interesting, because we're saying about, overeating. Are we exercising enough? Are we looking after ourselves? So it's about re-energizing, building that energy back, and healing those areas of us that are out of balance. The full moon is a great time for forgiveness. So it's looking at people in our life who, and this could stem way back to childhood, it doesn't have to be right now, forgiving yourself and forgiving others for maybe situations that you're unhappy about. But we have to remember that we're not condoning what others have done, but we need to forgive in order to be able to release ourselves and heal and move forward. So this is an opportunity for you to write down some situations or people or aspects that need forgiveness, and to let that go. So I want you to write those down. I want you to envisage those situations or those people in a bubble of pink light, and I want you to release them. Just release them up into the sky and let them go, and say, I have forgiven you. Just let it go. You're not condoning, but you're letting go in order to free yourself. And by doing that, you can then write a list of gratitude. And as I said earlier, with regards to money and things, when you're grateful, you bring far more in, because your vibration is on a grateful level. So, this is about entering a state of gratitude and writing down what you're grateful for. It's kind of like a ceremony where you can list all the things that you're grateful for at the moment, because by being grateful, that vibration is being raised. So that's what I want to add there. Also, this is a time to pop your crystals out in direct moonlight, so put them into the garden. If you don't have a garden, you can put them on your windowsill, but they must be in direct moonlight in order for them to get that energy vibration of the moon. Do be careful if there is rain on the weekend. I would leave them out overnight, so you could leave them out either Friday through to Saturday. No, actually, thinking about it, you're better to pop them out around Saturday into Sunday, because that is when the moon will be at its fullest energy-wise. But I would just be careful and vigilant of any crystals that aren't good with water and do erode, because if there's rain, you don't want to be putting those outside. So just make sure you do your research before you pop them out. So that's the other thing. There's also full moon meditations you can do, lighting incense, burning sage, and just cleansing the home and your body in salt water to clear the energy for the full moon. And it is also Halloween, so the energy, there's a very thin veil with regards to spirit on this day. So there's so much going on. So have a great full moon, and I will catch up with you soon. Take care. Bye.